Hey everybody, Jeremiah.
Beta.
We're finally gonna do the long-awaited bus tour. So we haven't even shown off our bus yet. We've taken it halfway across the United States. Let's get to it. All right, so I guess I'll start with the outside of the bus. It's painted. It came like this, house painted. Nothing special. We really want to repaint it, but you know, for keeping it quote unquote stealthy, it does do the job. It's not really like something to pay much attention to. If you make your bus a little bit too fancy, then, people are going to bug you about it. But for us, it does kind of just look like an old bus for a school or something like that. For the roof, I did cover it in the Flex Seal, like the white Flex Seal for the RV roof. It didn't have any type of protection on the roof before. It was just painted. It helps a lot with keeping it dry, like the water just falls off. We've got 400 watts of solar on the roof. We have a Dometic vent fan. We have these extra big, I guess they're like blind spot, but they also, they'll tell you where the front of the bus is. So if you're sitting in the driver's seat, you can see directly down. It's really, really helpful for when we're parking. We have two fog lights. The guy that wired them up did a really bad job, so we use them very sparingly. For whatever reason, the person who wired up a lot of the stuff in the bus before us just didn't understand gauges and how to, properly gauge out your wires. So that needs to be rewired, but they do work right now. On this side, we still have the stop sign on here. We had all of our friends and everybody sign it before we left Florida. Nothing super crazy. We have our running lights. We did Flex Seal the top of the bus. It's starting to peel off, but again, it's all part of the learning process. What stays, what doesn't stay. It's helped keep the bugs off, honestly. Let's see. And then the last thing is in the back. We did a review on it, but we have a stowaway on the back that helps keep, our extra stuff in it. It swings out so we have access to our back door and we have access to, the interior of the bus. So I can show you guys the back right now. So this swings out super easy. It's got a bunch of storage in it. And then we can get to our garage. The garage is super full right now, as you can see. We do live in the bus full time. So, if there's a mess, it is what it is. We spend every single day inside this bus. We have two, I think they're 2.5 gallon tanks of diesel, one here, one behind for our two diesel heaters. We've only ever needed to use one. On this side, we have the bus heater is still in here. It's underneath here, but we built this cage to keep it from getting everything hot. And so we could build around it. Super, super helpful there. We have a table. We have our toilet, a Julka, which, I 1,000,000% do not recommend a Julka at all. I think the design is garbage. I think that the implementation of the toilet is really, really bad. We'll probably do a whole video about how bad I think that Julka toilet is and how it 100% was not designed by people who live in their vehicles.
That was also most of our clothes back there.
Yeah, most of our clothes back there. So
in the plastic drawers.
Beta's going to do a tour of the inside of the bus for us.
So this is the latch that came onto the bus. So this is how we lock it. We push it shut and put like an actual lock on here that has a key when we leave the bus and when we leave the dogs in here. Or when we're driving because the door whistles. Hello, babies. So this is you can show real quick. Hang on. Our little makeshift command hooked dog gate. So try to keep them in there. We don't leave them unattended, obviously. So then you just push this to the side. Come on. Come on, I'll take you. We've got two mats here. One of them usually goes outside. And then we've got the nice rug underneath there. The black one. The Gorilla Grip that keeps everything up at the front when we have it up there. But anyway, so as you first come in, that's the cab, obviously. We've got curtains that block all of that right there, the dog bed. There is the fridge that's right here. It's packed, obviously. It's actually really, really deep. There's 2 stacks of waters at least deep right there. So a bunch of room in the fridge. There is a fire blanket right there. Whole bunch of water up there. And then a bunch of stuff shoved behind the driver's seat. The usual. The bus battery is underneath here, the house battery. So I'll let you take over now.
Sure. Yeah. So Vader went over some of the stuff in the bus here. Obviously, the front section, we're still deciding on how we want to disconnect it, but this is all of our electrical. So our solar comes in through the wires in here. It goes into this. It goes into this. It goes down to the battery. Charge the battery. The battery comes back up into a breaker box. Pretty simple breakdown. I redid a lot of the wiring for this because a lot of it was really poorly done. This is a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter, but I don't think it's a pure sine wave inverter. I think it's a modified sine wave inverter, which is why there's a lot of buzzing from it. We have two Anker Solex batteries on top of our house battery. So we have a 2048 watt hour house battery and two 1024 watt hour Ankers, the Anker CX 1000, not sponsored, I wish. We have running water, so that's connected to two 5-gallon tanks. So we've got two 5-gallon tanks of clean water and one 5-gallon tank of gray water.
That's a table.
Yeah, folding table and another stool. So obviously storage everywhere. This L bracket shelf cabinet system here I built, just for extra storage because it was just kind of flat all the way back. And then deep in here, this goes all the way back underneath the bed for extra storage for things like our toaster, our heaters, our stoves, our stove tops, our panini press, obviously more storage underneath. We've got, silverware inside these custom built cabinets. My friend Kenny back in South Florida, shout out Kenny, the big dog. I've known him forever, but he ended up doing these cabinets for us, and he did this bench system, which we'll talk about in a second. But again, big shout out to Kenny. He came in really clutch and did a lot of the work for us really quickly.
The painting was us, so
yeah,
we didn't do the bad painting. That was us.
The poor paint job was us listening to the people at the paint store telling us
that
what
it's
to paint
okay
with.
to paint your countertop with just regular paint.
Yeah, and it's not going to chip, even though it's all chipped. But, again, more lessons learned. I'll move over to this side for a second. So I put this wall here. It was not here before. It was just this, which has storage inside of it. But we really wanted to separate the front of the bus from the back of the bus. It was like a big thing, like keeping out light and this and that and keeping it nice and warm back here for insulation purposes. So I built this wall here. It definitely makes it feel a lot cozier. We have four USB-A ports down here that all run, I think it's like 2 volt or 5 volt. So just enough to charge your phone or to charge like a power bank or something like that. Good stuff. We've got our sofa here. The sofa, I'll let Veda talk about all the good stuff with the sofa and the padding on top.
Okay. So the sofa, I know I'm gonna have to move the babies. It's so sad. I'm so sorry. But the sofa, there is a bunch of storage underneath. So first here is a diesel heater that we don't use. So there's just random stuff kind of thrown in there as well. Again, the bad paint job. It's just we did what we could in the time that we had. And so this is all dog drawer right here. Food, toys, clothes, medicine, wipes, everything that you can think of dog-wise. And then so the actual cushion also of the thing, I made the cushion part with a memory foam mattress topper from a bed that we had. And then my aunt sewed together the actual nice, whatever you want to call it, pillowcase for the seat, for the bench. Then we got pillows. Vera's going back up. We've got more storage on this side, so I don't want to move her too much. But if you open this, it's completely filled with an atlas. And then also all of our bathroom stuff. So there's literally bathroom stuff for months in there. Anything that you could think of. There's a hair dryer in there, a straightener, like makeup, body wash. In here is coffee. His coffee drawer. So that's all his. This is a big snack bin because we're a bunch of fatties. And then back there is also our bin for magic cards and all of our magic stuff. And then there's another diesel heater back here. So we do move this snack box We'll move this when we turn this diesel heater on because that's the only one that we use. Otherwise, you can show like down underneath here. It's nice underneath here. This is our little, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes we use it over the sink for more counter space. Sometimes we put it up there for more space. But then this is the nice bench that Kenny did.
Shout out Kenny.
And then we've got our other anchor down here. There's just work stuff down here as well, dog stuff.
So
And then
one thing I do want to point out about the bench is we put it at, I think it's 16 inches wide to sit on.
16 or 17, yeah.
Yeah, like away from the wall, which sounds small, but it gave us so much more floor space.
Because before, I think it was almost 20 inches out.
Yeah, it was
all
like
the way
21 or 22 inches out.
So when we got it, we tore out, there was like this weird looking table up against the wall and then two little seats that were a bench, but there wasn't as much storage in there and we really didn't care too much for the table. For us, it was mainly like use the space for storage as much as possible because we don't have anything overhead besides this net that we put up. But otherwise, you know, that has saved us a whole lot on walking space and storage for our stuff doing that. What else is there? There's just more storage in here, but then back here, so this is our closet back here. Here's some hoodies and a bag full of bags. You know, you can never have too many bags. And then here's our EcoFlow. So this we use for heating and for cooling sometimes. It's got the battery pack underneath so it can last for a few hours by itself without plugging it in. Then back there, this is all of our hanging up clothes. So our hoodies, our, you know, flannels, whatever, our nicer clothes, stuff that we don't want smushed away in the back. So then we have, like I said, the net right here that has all of our pajamas in it.
Here, hold on. I'm going to turn on the lights so you guys can see.
Back there.
Back there.
Bubby. Anyway, so that has all of our pajamas in it. There's hats back there. There's a huge, like, there's a bunch of stuff behind here. There's towels, like all sorts of stuff. Stuffed animals back there. I would say the only annoying part about the bed is the AC that's over the bed, which it's mainly annoying for you because you're the one that sleeps there.
But here, I'll show you guys, because everyone always says there's no way that the bed is big enough for two people to fit in.
Two people and
two
dogs. We got our stool.
So first, the bed is really hot.
So like obviously all of that stuff, besides like our bed pillows, all of that comes down. Yeah. And that goes on the couch. Like we have to move stuff a lot in here just because it is such a small space. But the bed,
move all this stuff. So, without all this stuff up here.
Look, you have plenty of room to put your feet all the way out. Your head nice up. And we also do have like thick pillows, so they are taking up a decent bit of space back there.
But more than enough room for a full-size adult
to
fit in, because I'm 5'10" and a half. Or 5'11", I don't remember. But, yeah, this AC we would really like to have removed. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yep.
The bed came built out like this, so I really would like it to be lower.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It is what it is for now. We got what we got. We were on a time crunch with redoing stuff, so.
Yeah, I think we had like a month and a half to redo a lot of the bus.
And that was with you working.
Yeah.
Full time.
So I would work, and then in between calls, I would go outside in the Florida heat and come out and measure stuff and cut stuff and go back in for another call and then come back out and go back in and come back out. And then on the weekends, it was literally 12-hour days.
And this was like the hottest time of the year in Florida too. It was in
August,
so September, it was miserable. But we did it anyways. We did what we could with the time that we had. So there's also that.
This is our catch-all junk drawer, but it's really not junk. It's just tools and electronics and spare things that we might need again.
Yeah.
So our charging cords for our anchors. Bubby's going crazy over there. Yeah, we have the Nintendo Switch set up, so I haven't played it docked in a while, but if I want, I can just drop it in and run it off the TV. The TV has a Roku connected to it, so,
You can watch our
you can
movies.
put the TV however you want.
Shows.
You can put it up into the bed. You can move it all over. The TV's super nice to have in here, especially because with the 400 watts of solar on a sunny day like today, we get more than enough solar and everything to run our internet all day. We also have the soundbar. It's literally just zip tied here because we could not get it to stay anywhere else. We tried
any other way.
We tried so many different ways to get it to stay somewhere, and finally, like most van lifers, you guys know this, zip ties, command strips, they will save your life. Command hooks. We have so many command hooks throughout this bus.
They're everywhere.
It's insane.
Everywhere.
But they're just so easy to use. You can stick them, remove them. You hang up all your stuff. It makes life so much easier to have a simple and cheap way to do something. One of the big things, like, we watch Cheap RV Living a lot. We love Bob. Shout out Bob. But one thing that Bob really talks about that kind of resonated with us is that this isn't for us to prove that we're like off-grid hippies who don't need this and don't need that. This is literally just a way for us to save money. Everything is so expensive nowadays and everything is so hard to do nowadays that it's just like so difficult. But, we made this work on a pretty limited budget with some help from family, and it's just radically changed everything. I've been able to pay off pretty much most of my debt in 100 days. Literally, like 100 days I've been able to pay off most of my debt. We're both almost fully debt free, and this is kind of like a trade-off. Do you want to pay rent for the rest of your life, or do you want to live in a bus?
There's also insulation behind the bed, like where we sleep, the feet and the head part. Those are both like insulated.
Yeah, the windows are insulated.
1/2-inch foam or whatever.
Yeah, the windows are insulated with the foam. The foam runs all the way behind this as well.
Yeah.
This is also, the whole thing that I built is removable. It's pretty easy to come out. It's like 6 screws and you can take that whole wall unit out.
We did the tile there.
Oh yeah.
It's just
they did the tile backsplash.
Can't see with all the stuff there, but then we used a nice little toilet paper holder. We needed something small, just to give us a little more storage, and we were wanting to do something up top, but we couldn't find anything that fit, and we didn't really have the time or the tools to do like our own custom cabinets. Otherwise, like, he would have done that, but again, time crunch, so we did what we could, but hey, it works.
Do what you can with what you got in the time that you can do it.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, we just wanted to do a little tour because we hadn't done a tour yet. Just kind of going over the bus, letting you guys into our lives a little bit.
I think that's it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for checking out the video.
Bye.
Bye.